All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important ideas in all of modern AI, supervised learning. This is the secret sauce that teaches machines to do all sorts of things, from filtering your spam to diagnosing diseases. So, let's get right to it.
I mean, that's a huge question, right? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But you know what? The most common way we actually do it today starts with a surprisingly simple concept.
That's it. You give the computer a teacher. That is the absolute core idea here. You don't just hand it a problem and hope for the best. No. You give it the problem and you give it the correct answer. And you do this over and over and over again until it finally starts to see the patterns for itself. So this whole method of teaching by example, that's what we call supervised learning. Just imagine giving a student a massive textbook where every single problem already has the solution worked out in the back.
Okay, here's the more formal definition. In supervised learning, every single piece of data you feed the model, our student, let's say, comes with a label. That label is the correct answer, and input is always paired with its correct output. The whole goal is for the model to figure out the secret connection between the two.
A really great way to think about this is with flashcards. Seriously, imagine a giant, endless stack of them. On one side, there's a picture of an animal. That's the input. On the back, it's labeled cat or dog. That's the output. Now, after seeing thousands and thousands of these examples, the AI starts to pick up on the features, pointy ears, a long tail, a wet nose, that define what makes a cat and a dog.
So how does this study session actually play out? Well, it's not random at all. It follows a pretty clear 4-step process.
First, you've got to give it the study material. That's all your labeled data. Then comes the study session itself, where the model trains, trying to find all those hidden patterns. After that, it's time for a practice quiz to see how it's doing. But here's the most important step, the final test. You give it brand new data it has never ever seen before and ask it to make a prediction. This is where it really proves it's learned something.
Now, once our machine student is all trained up, it can kind of specialize in 2 major fields. It can solve 2 main types of problems.
On one hand, you've got something called classification. This is all about sorting things into groups or buckets. The answer is a label from a fixed list, like spam or not spam. On the other hand, you have regression, and this is all about predicting a specific number. The answer here isn't a category, it's a number on a continuous scale, like the price of a house.
And this table here breaks it down even more. For classification, the goal is to predict a distinct label. It's asking questions like, is this transaction fraudulent? A classic yes or no answer. Regression's goal is to predict a number, like what's the temperature going to be tomorrow? The table also shows you some of the common algorithms. You can think of these as the different thinking techniques that each type uses to get to the answer.
But just like any student, a model can fall into some common study traps. And trust me, preparing for the final exam isn't always so straightforward.
You see, the true measure of learning isn't just about acing the practice problems. The real goal is what we call generalization, the ability to apply what you've learned to totally new situations. That's why we have a test set. It's the final exam, and it's filled with questions the student has never seen before.
Now, one of the biggest traps to watch out for is a problem called overfitting. The best way to think about this is to imagine the model cramming for a test. Instead of actually learning the underlying concepts, it just memorizes the exact answers from its study guide.
And a model that's overfit might look like a genius. It could get a 100% on the practice quiz, but then it completely fails the final exam. The goal is always true understanding, learning the general rules that it can apply to new problems, not just memorizing the old ones.
So after all this training, all this studying and testing, where does this technology actually show up? Well, the answer is pretty much everywhere you look. I mean, seriously, from the way you bank to the shows you binge watch, supervised learning is this quiet, powerful engine running in the background of almost every major industry: healthcare, finance, retail, entertainment, and of course, tech.
Just think about your day. That spam filter that keeps your inbox clean, that's a classification model working for you. The system that detects a weird transaction on your credit card, yep, also classification. That algorithm that recommends your next favorite movie, that's using both regression and classification. This tech is analyzing medical scans, forecasting how much stuff a store needs to order, and powering the chatbots we talk to every day.
So let's bring this all together. If you take just one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this.
Supervised learning is all about teaching by example. You show the machine a problem, and you show it the right answer.
And that's really it. This simple framework, learning from labeled examples to either sort things into categories or predict numbers, is the foundation for so much of the technology that shapes our world today.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating final thought, doesn't it? We've seen the incredible power of what happens when a machine learns with a teacher guiding the way. But what happens when you take the teacher away? What can a machine learn all on its own, with no labels and no answer key? Well, that is a story for another time.